Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Enam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gauravaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today is the auspicious appearance day of Vamana Dev, and so we'll spend a few minutes remembering this pastime and some important lessons to be learnt from this. So, Vamana Deva, Lord Vamana Dev, was a very interesting incarnation. There was the history behind his incarnation was that Prahlad Maharaj's grandson was Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was actually born in the family of the Daityas, right? The demons. If you see, Hiranyakashipu's son was Prahlad Maharaj, right? Prahlad Maharaj's son was Virochana and his son was Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj was a very exalted devotee of the Lord, and he was following the dharmic principles very nicely. He was very obedient to his Guru Maharaj, Shukracharya. But at the same time, Indra who is the king of the demigods, he insulted his guru, Brihaspati. There was a contrast going on. Here the king of the demons, he's following dharma, and the king of the demigods, he's insulting his spiritual master. So actually what happened, one day, when Indra was in his palace, and his assembly was going on, and he was immersed in his activities. At that time, the Brihaspati, who is the head of the teacher of the demigods, he enters the assembly hall. When he entered, all the other demigods stood up in respect. Right? Their guru is coming, so they all stood up in respect. But Indra, he was so puffed up with his power and prestige, he did not even acknowledge the presence of Brihaspati, and he just ignored him, and he just kept on doing what he was doing. Brihaspati is a spiritual person. He is not like personally insulted by Indra not following, but he was little upset that he is not setting a right example. So because of that, Brihaspati silently got up and left the assembly. He didn't do any, big scene or something. He didn't curse him. He just left the assembly. And with that, so the timing of this was also very, as I said, same time, Bali Maharaj was greatly respecting his spiritual master and worshipping him. And because of that, he got immense powers. And then, when he decided to attack Indras, at that time, Bali Maharaj came with all of his strength. And Indra and all the demigods, just by seeing the army of Bali Maharaj coming, and they realized at that time, that they had done a mistake. By that time, Indra had realized his mistake, that my guru has gone away, and so he was afraid that, he was going to face some consequences of that. And Bali Maharaj was so powerful that they decided they should better run away from there to save their lives. So they did not even fight. They decided, this is too much for us, better save our lives. And they just transformed themselves into birds and beasts and disappeared. That was the power of Bali Maharaj. And at that time, Bali Maharaj occupied the heavenly kingdom and was ruling all the three worlds, because there is nobody to stop him. And he was actually following dharma and doing it in a proper way. There was nothing, like he was a dharmic person. So that time, what happens? The mother of the demigods, Aditi, now she was very unhappy that her sons had been displaced. So one day, who is Aditi's husband? Kashyapa Muni, very exalted soul. So Kashyapa Muni, one day, he finished his meditation, and he woke up from his trance, and then he noticed that there was a little bit of moroseness in the ashram. Things were okay, they looked clean, but there was no liveliness. And then he asked Aditi, what is going on? Why are you morose like this? At that time, Aditi expresses her desire that, you see, my sons have been driven away. I'm very morose because they're not occupying the rightful position. I need your help in getting my sons back in their kingdom. At this time, very interesting point Kashyapa makes. Kashyapa actually tries to preach to her. He tries to preach to her saying, what is this concept of friend, enemy and neutral? This is a very material concept. By the will of providence, what has happened has happened. Your sons did not did not respect their guru, and so they're facing consequences of that. You should just be okay with that. Right? So the first lesson in this pastime is that we all live our lives thinking about everybody we know. We put them into 3 categories. Right? This is my friend, a well-wisher. We also have people in this is my enemy. Right? And these are neutral people. This concept of friend, enemy and neutral, all of this is a very material concept. It is not befitting a person who is spiritual in nature. And a lot of problems in life comes because of this attitude. Actually, in this material world, Kala creates this situation where you put into this thinking. When somebody is spiritual, somebody is elevated, they see everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. And our Vaishnava Acharyas, they actually said, it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if somebody is criticizing you, somebody is pointing out opportunities for you to improve, they are actually your friend. Somebody who is always praising you, they are your enemy. Why? Because they're not really, because there are so many opportunities for us to improve in our lives. Somebody is always saying, oh, you're doing wonderful things. And if I'm such a wonderful person, what am I doing in this material world? We should ask ourselves this question, right? Obviously, we have things to improve, we have things to become better. And so, our acharyas are telling us to think differently. She tried to preach, Kashyapa Muni tried to preach to her, but she did not. She was not in a mood to listen. At that time, Kashyapa says, okay, you seem to be so attached to your children. What else can I say? Only one person can help you, that is Lord Vishnu. Because you're asking me, I will teach you something that Brahma taught me. Brahma would have instructed the Kashyapa Muni on a wonderful ratha to please Vishnu. Anybody knows what that ratha is? Payovrata, it's called. It's a 12 days ratha to be followed. And when you follow that ratha, Lord Vishnu will be so pleased that he will appear in front of you. Aditi was very happy, very joyous after receiving this. And very ardently she practices this Payovrata. At the end of that, Lord Vishnu appears. She is very amazed to see him, full of joy. And she couldn't talk for a few minutes because she was so overcome with emotions. And afterwards she composes herself and praises the Lord. And the Lord asks her, what do you want? And she says, I want you as my son. At that time, Lord Vishnu says, yes, I'm satisfied with your prayers, I will come as your son. And he says, I also know what is in your heart. You want me as your son to establish your other sons back in their kingdom. You didn't ask me, but I will fulfill that also. So the Lord is present in your heart. He knows what is going on in your heart. See, sometimes what happens, we are in our spiritual evolution, we cannot give up all our attachments, all our likings. And the Lord is so merciful, even though you do not ask Him, He knows what is in your heart and He is wanting to fulfill those desires. And He says, no problem. I'll be born as Vamana Dev. And after that, the Lord appears as Vamana, born to Aditya and Kashyapa. And there's a whole beautiful description of how Vamana Dev was a dwarf. But he was so beautiful, so effulgent, it would attract everybody's attention. And this Vamana Dev, in his dwarf incarnation, he goes to the assembly of Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj, just seeing him, he's just drawn to his transcendental effulgence and his beauty, and he receives him. He stands up and receives him. And then washes his feet and says, oh Brahmana, oh tiny Brahmana, please ask me whatever you want. And then Vamana Dev, he basically says, ask me something after which you don't need to ask anybody anything. Because Bali Maharaj was a ruler of the three universes. And he says, I can give you whatever you want. But Vamana Dev asks, what does he ask? Just 3 steps of land. Imagine a small dwarf boy. And how much is his 3 steps? Right? Maybe 10 feet by 10 feet at the most. 3 feet he'll go this way. 3 feet by 3 feet. 9 square feet he's asking. And then Bali Maharaj is telling, hey, what is this? You're just a small boy. You don't know what you want. Small children like that, what will they ask? Oh, just give me some lollipop. Like that they will ask. You don't know what you want, but I can give you the entire, universe. Whatever you want, I can. Why are you asking small things? At that time, beautiful verse in the 8th canto, 19th chapter, text number 24. I'll read the verse. Very nice verse. Vamana Dev says, Yadruchayopapannena santushto vartate sukham na santushtas tribhir loker ajitotmapasaditaihi Yadruchayopapannena. So basically saying, Yadrucha means by the mercy of the Lord. Right? By the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Yadruchaya, by the what is offered by the Lord according to one's karma. Upapannena, whatever is obtained, santushtaha, one should be satisfied. He says, one should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny. Why? Because for discontent can never bring happiness. Na santushtas, for one, who is not happy, who is not discontent, it can never be happiness. Then what is he saying? Na santushtas tribir lokair. If a person who is not self-controlled, ajita atmaha, who is not self-controlled, will not be happy even with possessing the 3 worlds. Right? So beautifully. One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny. For discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. See, this is also a very important lesson. You see, in this world, there is always somebody who is equal to you, somebody who is above you, and somebody who is below you. Always in this world, whoever you are. And the unfortunate reality is that we always are comparing. To whom are we comparing? Who? To below us? Always we're looking at somebody above us. Saying, I don't have that. If only I had that, I would be so happy. If you really go back, sometimes we should do this introspection. When people first come to this country, then they're slowly getting settled down. They'll say, oh, if only I'll get green card. Before, I don't want anything else, just get my green card, I'll be happy. Right? And then, oh no, if only I become citizen, and then if only I become this, if only I become that, oh, if only I have $10 million. I don't want anything, just $10 million. I'll be very, very happy. No, I don't want anything else. Once you get 10 million, you're like, oh, see, I want at least 30 million, That is the definition of a high net worth individual. At least 30 million of assets we should have. Otherwise, how will the future, what will happen to me? There is no end to this. A billionaire is saying, oh, if I have only 2 billion. There is no end to this. So what he's saying is, even if you own all the three worlds, you will never be happy. So that is why the goal to happiness is to be satisfied with whatever comes of its accord, of its own accord. This is a very important aspect of the spiritual existence. Because what happens when somebody over endeavors, for getting material things, your whole energy will be sucked into that. And with that, because of that, you are not able to concentrate on your spiritual life. Everybody is looking, little bit more hard I'll work, I'll get this. A little bit more. That is Maya's trick. In office also, right? It's a very interesting thing I heard. This NVIDIA, right? Suddenly there is such a huge increase in value, right? Stock went up, I don't even know how many X, like some 100X or something. It is a ridiculous number, right? It seems all the people who are working for some time, they all had stock options, and they're all millionaires now. And everybody wants to work. When you're a millionaire, why do you want to work? And now the stock can't go up any much more, right? Like till now they were like, it's going up, I should stay. So now the company is looking to hire all new people so that they can hang the carrot in front of them and make them work. So I'm not joking. This somebody who's working there told me they are hiring all new people, and all the new people, they're making them slog like donkeys because all the old people don't want to work hard. This is the nature of this world. And they're going on, a little bit, I'll also become a millionaire, multi-millionaire, whatever. And life goes on like that. Right? So this example is given of a donkey. Right? A washerman's donkey, has anybody actually seen in India experience, nowadays children won't see a lot. Long time ago, when there used to be donkeys and washermen actually used to carry this thing. Has anybody really seen in real life? No, you have seen? You see people in the back. They put a bag of, like a gunny bag, They'll put a gunny bag like this deep it will be, and they'll put some grass in it. And this donkey is going on, working on this thing, and then once in a while it gets a little grass. I'm so happy. Prabhupada used to say, hey, you donkey, just look around you, there is so much grass everywhere. If you escape from this job and you run away, there is grass everywhere, free grass is available. But no, that Maya creates that illusion that, oh, this grass is in this bag, and if I work really hard, if I keep moving, keep going, I'll get that grass. So like that, Maya is dangling all these things in front of us, and we are running and running and running after it. Right? Oh, I'm supposed to finish class by 12:30 today because they're having this kids performance today. So I'll quickly wrap up. So this second lesson to be learned is that one should be satisfied with whatever comes of its own accord, because otherwise the three worlds will not satisfy us. And then we all know the remaining part of the story. Vamana Dev, with his one leg, he covers the entire three worlds. With his other leg, he raises up and covers the entire sky. Right? Actually, when he raised his leg, his toe pierced the shell of the universe. And from that shell, what came? Mother Ganges flowed, the Viraja river, the causal ocean flowed through for the piercing, and that's how Mother Ganges came into this universe. And Mother Ganges flows across all the planetary systems, all the 14 planetary systems. And so that's how she entered. It's Mother Ganges is so pure because it is water that is touching the toe of the Supreme Lord, Vamana Dev. And then he's saying, "Oh, you, Bali Maharaj, you imposter, you promised me 3 steps. Now 2 steps have taken everything that you own. Now, where is place for my 3rd step?" Right? Actually, just before this, Sukracharya, the guru of Bali Maharaj, is telling him, hey, this Vamana is a Supreme Lord Vishnu who has come on behalf of Aditi. He has come to take away your kingdom. Don't give him, don't see. And then he gives some technical reasons why he can renege from his contract. Like when you write a contract, there will be some exit clauses. And he tells him what the exit clauses are. He says, you see, when somebody is coming with ill intention and asking you, even though you have said you will give, you don't have to give. So many other reasons he gives. And when your life is in danger, you don't have to actually fulfill your promises. So many exit clauses. He is Vamana Dev. Bali Maharaj at that time, he says, "Oh Sukracharya, I've always respected you as my Acharya. But what is this you're trying to tell me? You only taught me before that serving Vishnu, giving up everything for Vishnu is the fulfillment of life. And when Vishnu has come and is asking me for 3 steps, why are you telling me now not to follow?" And he rejects Shukracharya. And Shukracharya actually curses him. He says you will lose everything. Actually, why was Shukracharya telling him not to follow? Because he was afraid that, if he gives away everything, what will happen to me? Because my boss has nothing, then I won't have anything. See, that is the unfortunate, thinking of Shukracharya. But Bali Maharaj ignores that and says, you only have taught me to serve Vishnu, I will fulfill. And at this time, he has now broken the promise, disregarded his spiritual master. He has been cursed by him. And all of his possessions have been taken away. And now he is standing in front of Vamana Dev and he has been tied up like a criminal. Even though all of this is happening, he is still not shaken up. He is still fully convinced that he needs to worship, and he says, "Oh Amanadeva, please keep your third foot on my head." And he fully surrenders to him. So the third important lesson for us to learn is to surrender to the Supreme Lord. And then what happens? He gets, the permanent kingdom of Sutala. And the Supreme Lord himself becomes his doorkeeper. And he says, you will enjoy opulence much, much greater than the heavenly kingdoms, even though he didn't ask for it. Okay? So to summarize, in this wonderful pastime, we should give up this friend, enemy, and neutral and all of this mentality. The second lesson, what is the second lesson? One should be happy. Edrucha upapanna. Edrucha upapanna means whatever comes of its own accord, we should be very satisfied. And finally, when we surrender to the Lord, there is no loss or diminution. There are always going to be, Lord will fulfill all our desires, much beyond what we desire. Okay, we'll stop here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Vamana Dev Appearance Day Mahotsav ki, Bol Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for all of you for coming. We'll start our Sunday school performances. We need 2-3 Prabhus to lift that down. Tiruvedi and... Yeah, you can put it that side.